You know what? I don't have a pen. Do I have like one? Do I have like 1 minute to go get a pen? Hi. What?
Every morning and every evening and every day I think of you, the way you love me through and through. And when I'm with you, it feels like heaven, and you're an angel holding me. Your sweet, sweet loving, it sets me free. And in my wildest imagination, I could never imagine you loving me as much as I do. It may be winter, it may be fall, I might have plenty or nothing at all, but baby, I'll be there whenever you call. 'Cause every morning and every evening and every day I'll think of you, the way you love me through and through, the way you love me through and through.
Good afternoon. I'm Marty Kane, Ted's grandson, and a member of Copper Creek Church. On behalf of the family, I want to welcome you here, say thank you so much for coming, and also on behalf of Copper Creek. We look forward to sharing some music, some memories, some poetry that will honor Ted and his legacy. And I'm going to speak for the whole family when I say that we all loved Grandpa very much, and we knew that he loved us as well. He was a central part of our family, and he was a positive presence wherever he went. So we all have lots of good memories of him. For me, growing up just across town from Ted and Audrey, I got lots of chances to see them, and I always looked forward to spending time with them. And I always knew three things. I would eat well, I'd learn something, and I'd be loved. And really, what else can you ask for? I especially looked forward to holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving, seeing family from out of town, knowing we'd all spend time together, knowing Grandma would cook something amazing. We'd all sit together at the big table. Grandpa would put on just the perfect music. They were amazing hosts. And thanks to Grandpa's vision, we also have family gatherings at our cottage in Upper Michigan. And those weeks are special because we just get to do life together as a family, an extended family, and have fun being in nature, going on outings and things like that. I have a special memory of when my brother and I were little. Grandpa took us fishing out on the lake there. He showed us how to put the worms on the hook, how to cast, all that good stuff. We reeled in a bunch of fish. We were super excited to get back and show them off. We learned some new vocabulary as he tried to get the motor started. And then we were really in for a surprise when we got back to shore and learned we had to clean the fish and all that went along with that. But the thing was, Grandpa approached all of that, the fun stuff and the gross stuff, with the same energy. He didn't shy away from it, didn't hold back, even if it was difficult or messy. So he was teaching us about fishing, but he was also modeling for us that you have to finish what you start, and you follow through. So he always had a list of projects for us all to work on, maintenance, keeping up the property and the house, painting, clearing trees, all that good stuff. So I learned the value in being proactive about taking care of things and basically having discipline to take care of things up front before they become a problem. So even now I find myself around my house looking at something that needs fixing or problem that needs dealing with and ask myself, what would Grandpa do? And the answer is, do it now, do it right. So I hear his voice. The thing I think I remember most fondly about spending time with Grandpa is his humor. He was especially often self-deprecating, and that helped humanize him for me. So I knew he was this big, important person at the big, important university, but I never felt that way in my interactions with him. Like, he was never arrogant or condescending. He could laugh at himself, he could show self-awareness, and I think all of us grandkids have fond memories of him playing with us and engaging with us on our level. My absolute favorite was how he would randomly burst out with a silly accent or a funny voice. He'd be doing something totally mundane, like getting something out of the pantry, and you'd hear this goofy character all of a sudden asking what kind of beans you wanted out of or maybe singing a silly song about whatever was in the fridge. One year, when my cousins and I were in high school and we were drinking copious amounts of soda, he came up with a chant that was sugar water caffeine to just mock us every time we came by with another can of soda. But he had a way of making those ordinary moments funny, and I always enjoyed that. And he didn't use humor to put people down. He was positive, he was lighthearted. His impressions and funny stories helped bring people together. So yeah, I feel fortunate to have as much time with him as I did. Have tons of good memories. I'm glad we have this time together to share, and I look forward to hearing some of your stories and hopefully some of your funny moments as well. So again, thank you for being here. Thanks for sharing with us. Before the next song, I just want to mention there's some notes on the back that were written by Ted's children about what the songs mean, why they were chosen. So just wanted to point those out. Thank you.
Love is but a song we sing, and fear's the way we die. You can make the mountain dream, or make angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Some may come, some may go. We will surely pay. When the one that's left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Oh, come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Right now. Right now.
Hi. I'm Karen, Ted and Audrey's middle daughter. Thank you so much for being here today. Dad told his granddaughter Anna that the 3 poems we'll be reading today are his favorites. The Summer Day by Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
Hi. I think this is a wonderful turnout of very good friends of Ted, and I know that if Ted could be here, he would love it. But he can't. My name is Harry Gaines. I have the honor and privilege of being able to talk about my best friend, and he and I would agree on that. I worked for Prentice Hall Publishing, and when I found out that he was writing a general chemistry book, I came down to Urbana from Chicago and had lunch with him. And he described what his plan was. By that time, I had listened to a fair number of authors talk about what they were going to do. Ted was the most articulate in describing what he was going to do to a non-scientist, me, of any author I ever met. And that shows up in how the success of the book later on. I recently went to our favorite source of information, Google, and I asked the question, what is the best-selling general chemistry college textbook? And it came back immediately with Chemistry, the Central Science by Brown and LeMay. And the reason given was that it was incredibly accurate and had clarity of information and good, excellent problem solving. All of the clarity showed up in the way he described what he was going to do that he then did in the future. He also mentioned that Jean LeMay, who was a PhD student from here, was then teaching at University of Nevada, Reno, would be his co-author. So they wrote the book, published it, and I played a very minor role in their choosing Prentice Hall, and we're delighted they did. And that was in 1975 that they made that decision. Another person from Prentice Hall is here, Ed Stanford, who's sitting beside me. And Ed was involved, I was involved in the first two editions as I became general manager of science and mathematics. Ed was involved as president of the college division from then on to the 7th edition when he moved to another role. Ted and Jean wrote an excellent book. Ted, who I dealt with the most, had a wonderful characteristic that was true of all of our outstanding authors. He was a pleasure to deal with. He knew what his job was, he knew what our job was, and we worked together to come up with what became the best-selling book in the industry. It is one of the best-selling textbooks over 50 years ever, if you take any subject area. And it was particularly important to Prentice Hall because at that time we were not as strong in science and mathematics as we became. It provided a model of what a good book looked like and showed that we could deliver that. Would be one of the half a dozen most important books that Prentice Hall ever published. Let me move on to mine. If you fast forward a number of years, I spent some time with Ted in 74 to 77, then I moved on to run another division of Prentice Hall. Fast forward about 20 years, we became snowbirds, my wife and I, in Southwest Florida, and spent half the year down there. And we found out through a mutual friend that Ted was about a mile away. So we got together, we had regular dinners together, and it was just a pleasure to get to know him well. That's when we built our friendship. And about that, in 2010, I decided to write a fitness book, and Ted was one of the key reviewers for me. At one point, he called me and said, let's get together. I've got some other books in the field in exercise physiology, anatomy and physiology. Let's go over the science and be sure you have it right. And we spent hours doing that. And then he also provided some reviewers of specific chapters of the book, other scientific people who would be sure that I didn't screw it up. One of them was then one of the prominent people in exercise in the brain named Art Kramer. And my understanding is Art is here. Are you, Art? There you are. Thanks, Art. You did a good job. I appreciate it. Ted invited me here for his 90th birthday. As you may know, he was the instigator of the Beckman Institute here, working with Arnold and Mary Beckman to spend a significant amount of money on an interdisciplinary program, and it's one of the best in the country and probably in the world. And when he did that, when I came to the conference, the focus was on climate change. Ted was following climate change back in the 1950s, so he was very interested in the field, and we attended a number of conferences in the Sarasota area. There's a climate change facility there as we went forward. The most important lesson I learned from Ted was not about publishing, but was about friendship. When he was in Florida until Audrey passed on, and a couple of years later he moved up to Connecticut. And the last time when he was leaving, he and I got together for lunch, and we hugged afterwards, and he said, Harry, I love you. And I said, I love you too. He was the first man, other than a family member, had said that to me. Since then, I've told people, numbers of people, that I love them. I've learned that lesson from Ted. He was always a major league player in academics, in publishing, and in friendship, and I will always miss him. Thank you.
Hello and good afternoon. I'm Jeff Moore. I have the great pleasure of being a friend and colleague of Ted Brown. When Ted's family asked me to share a few thoughts, I thought about what I wanted to say, and there were many things that I could have spent the 8 minutes talking about. He was an extraordinary scientist. He was an exceptional university leader, a gifted writer, as you can see from out in the hallway, and an influential advisor to the Arnold and Mabel Beckman Foundation. But accomplishments alone don't really explain why Ted mattered so much and why you're all here today. What I'd rather talk about is something that Ted taught me and something that impacts many of us and many outside of this room. The picture that is directly behind me, I would say, is one of my favorite pictures of Ted. It was taken at the early point in the construction of what Harry said, the Beckman Institute. Whenever I look at it, I find myself wondering and studying that expression on Ted's face. I don't know what he was thinking, and I'm not going to pretend that I do, but I do wonder. This photo was taken at really a remarkable moment. There was no Beckman Institute, obviously, as you can see. A hole in the ground was all there was, except for an ambitious idea. And that's really where the lesson that I wanted to share with you is going to come from. Because today we know how the story ends, but at this moment in time, Ted did not. And that's really the point. I think one of the things that I learned from Ted is that meaningful progress requires thoughtful risk. Not reckless risk, but really the willingness to commit to a bold idea before it is assured. And I think at this point, and some of the things I think were going on in Ted's mind, we're wondering, how is this experiment going to turn out? Ted really understood that if we insist on certainty before we act, we'll never really create anything that's new. There's two other pictures that are coming, and they really tell the story. The one behind me now was taken in 1962. So Ted showed up at the University of Illinois in 1958. This picture is taken in 62, just a few years after he arrived. And you're looking south toward the south end of what was the edge of campus, but really not, because you can see all you really see are the two university softball fields. For the next 3 decades of Ted's career, I think few people would have imagined this as becoming the intellectual crossroads of the university. And I really say that with some careful intent. I mean, the university as a whole is an intellectual entity, but really there was a transformation in not just the physical, but the intellectual way of doing business at the university, doing research, doing science at the university. The next photograph, taken from approximately the same aerial view, is really one that was taken, I believe, in 2016, and it tells the story of how things unfolded after that hole in the ground became the Beckman Institute. The Beckman Institute helped transform this part of campus, not only physically, but as I said, intellectually, because long before the thing of interdisciplinary research became fashionable, Ted believed that chemists, engineers, physicists, psychologists, biologists, computer scientists, and clinicians, among others, should work together under the same roof and learn from each other. I would say today, at any university, that seems obvious, and you'll find interdisciplinary institutes just about everywhere, even though the Beckman Institute is clearly one of the first. So in the 1980s, that was anything but obvious, but Ted was willing to live with the uncertainty because he could see the future that very few, if anyone else could imagine. That same vision helped shape the foundation, the Beckman Foundation. So the Beckman Foundation funded the Beckman Institute, and Ted played, maybe lesser known, but a very vital role in how the foundation played out. In a very wonderful interview that I listened to just earlier this week, reflecting on the foundation's evolution, Harry Gray from Caltech recalled that after Mabel's death, Arnold turned to 2 people that he trusted that would help shape the future. Harry says in that interview, "It was me and Ted Brown." Harry often used Ted as one of the persons who really championed for different ideas. And he said, for example, Ted Brown and I started the Beckman Young Investigator Program. He credits Ted again and again with helping the Scholars Program, the Postdoc Fellowship Program, all things investing in young scientists and in fundamental research. Today, the Beckman Young Investigator Program is regarded as one of the world's most premier early career awards. More than 450 scientists have been supported, including 3 who went on to receive Nobel Prizes. Ted understood something profound. Buildings, like the Beckman Institute, do matter, but buildings fulfill their purpose only through the people that they inspire. Late in life, Ted made another gift to the Beckman Institute by helping create what's now called Ted's Cafe. I can't imagine a more fitting tribute. A cafe is a place to have coffee or lunch. It's where conversation begins, and we've heard that from Marty and Harry and others. I'm sure you know it yourself. It's exactly the place where ideas are exchanged, and in many ways it captures the very spirit that Ted envisioned for the Beckman Institute right from the very beginning. When asked about the gift, Ted didn't describe it as his donation. He said, "It's our family's money. It's something my family invested in. It is, in a sense, a family decision." And to me, that answer tells something important. The legacy doesn't belong just to Ted, but really also to Audrey. Their partnership helped shape this remarkable place, and it is something that will continue to enrich the lives of people that they never had the chance to meet. When I return to the first photo that I showed you of Ted standing above the excavation, I don't see somebody admiring a construction project. I see someone who's willing to live with uncertainty because he believed in a future that did not exist. Ted didn't wait for the future to become obvious. He helped to create it. And all of us whose lives have been shaped by the Beckman Institute or just being around Ted, and certainly all of the wonderful opportunities he's created by things such as the Beckman Young Investigator Program, they continue to live in the future that Ted Brown imagined. Thank you.
The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. Any fool can do it. There ain't nothing to it. Nobody knows how we got to the top of the hill. But since we're only on our way down, we might as well enjoy the ride. The secret of love is in opening up your heart. It's okay to feel afraid, but don't let that stand in your way. 'Cause anyone knows that love is the only road. And since we're only here for a while, might as well show some style. Give us a smile. Isn't it a lovely ride? Sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. Now the thing about time is that time isn't really real. It's just your point of view. How does it feel to you? Einstein said he could never understand it all. Planets spinning through space, the smile upon your face. Welcome to the human race. Some kind of lovely ride. I'll be sliding down, gliding down. Just try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. Isn't it a lovely ride? See me sliding down, gliding down. Just try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time.
Good afternoon. Well, as the program indicates, I'm slated to read a poem by Billy Collins called Litany, and it was, in fact, one of the 3 poems my dad identified as his 3 favorites. But we did a slight change of plan this afternoon, because as we were unpacking some papers and other things and putting things out in the lobby that you might take a look at during the reception, we found this piece of paper, and it is a poem my dad wrote when he was 20 years old. And we just think it really captures his character. So I'll get through this, y'all. You pull for me here. So this is by Theodore Brown, written in 1948. It's called The Easy Way. Whenever I say it's a soft world, someone's sure to say, no, it isn't so. The battles are hard. The prices are steep. The rewards are painfully low with scowls. Life is a rock-strewn bed. Each one has to lie on, someday die on. The price of a smile is another's tear. Tears are lasting. Smiles are quickly gone. If I answer then and say, this isn't true, intrinsically, for some who don't succumb to murmuring doubts and faithless fears have found it soft. They're never mum. They wave their theories in my face and roar pragmatics in my ear, become severe, and point out coldly the foolishness of useless words like persevere. So when they sadly bury the dead, dream of yesterday, I only pray, as hopefully and humbly as I can, for our hard world an easy way.
Good afternoon. I'm Mary. I'm the eldest of Ted Brown's children. And on behalf of our family, especially my siblings, thank you so much for being here today. And I want to add once again a thank you to the Copper Creek community for being so caring for us and taking such good care of us. Thank you. So I met with a challenge on behalf of my siblings. How does one convey over 70 years of relationship between one man and 5 offspring? Of course, it's impossible to tell you everything about those wisdoms that Ted imparted, his silly voices Marty alluded to, and the stories, the way he played with us, his many fatherly lectures, and the way he immersed us in music, the hours of travel and adventures. But I'm going to give it a try. So here goes. I think the first thing is that Dad was a man who modeled true love with his partner, our mom. That may have been his greatest gift to us. She was the sun to our little planets, establishing the routines and rituals that develop a family into its own culture. However, Dad was his own power, a scaffold we could depend on to be safe in spite of forces that frightened us in a confusing world. Our parents loved us unconditionally, no favorites. Parenting with the love and passion our parents practiced holds no guarantees. With our brother Philip's death, they weathered profound loss with honesty, humility, and still, as long as they lived, expressed gratitude for life's goodness. Our home was a microcosm of how they lived in the larger communities of which they were a part, nurturing friendship and practicing responsibility. While our dad encouraged accomplishment, he celebrated creativity. We played music. He helped us build things like puppet theaters and go-karts. We discussed current affairs and did science experiments. We went to concerts and museums, and as a family, camped in tents before we ever stayed in cottages. Dad's eagerness to keep learning enabled us to have dynamic relationships with him well into the end of his life. In the final 18 months of his life, one of his beloved routines was his weekly Zoom call with Andy and Susan. Dad proposed they study Ursula Le Guin's interpretation of the Tao Te Ching. Each week, they explored a chapter, putting ideas into the frameworks of their own lives. During those calls, Dad was always eager for the latest developments in Andy and Susan's business, Paxton Gate, their retail stores in Portland, Oregon. Those stores are for the curiously minded, a place for those who enjoy nature's connections with art. As different as retail is from the science that Dad lived, Dad delighted in his son's work because it came from the most intrinsic values Dad lived: commitment to hard work, problem solving, creating beauty, and loving the natural world. He savored everything Karen shared with him about Champaign-Urbana, updates about friends and the community at large. As she engaged in vital community projects, Dad related to his own community service during the 45 years he and Mom lived in this city. Dad often expressed interest, pride, and gratitude for Karen's volunteerism. With Jenny, Dad had the deep connection of university teaching, administration, and academic writing. In one particularly challenging period at the start of Jenny's deanship at Quinnipiac University's law school, Jenny credits a pep talk from Dad as giving her, in the precise moment she needed it, the shot in the arm she needed to persist. In Dad's final years, Jenny often regaled him with stories and anecdotes from the office, and he reciprocated with memories and, of course, bits of advice drawn from his own years in academe. My own career included years of volunteer work with an international organization and public school teaching, and I credit my dad with courage I found to speak out and take on collaborative leadership roles. However we crafted our life stories, Dad encouraged us to explore with commitment and depth. Jenny and I had the local view of Dad's last 5 years. At 92, after more than a year of COVID isolation following our mother's death, he bravely agreed to move from Florida to a life care community in Connecticut. In true Ted Brown fashion, he arrived to his new home ready to develop friendships, take on leadership roles when it was appropriate, and delve into new projects. After some months at Evergreen Woods in North Branford, Connecticut, he joined committees and was a vital contributor. Just as he had done during his years in Florida, he adapted TED Talks into Ted Brown presentations. He wrote his own PowerPoints and developed lectures for the residents on topics that range from the life of tree fungi to how people fall in love to AI. But he always believed that relationships matter. And many of you know this about Dad because you have been friends with him for decades. Even in his last 5 years of life, Dad sought out interesting people and developed routines for weekly meals with them, Perhaps most notable was his Monday night dinner group, which consisted of Ted and 5 amazing women who dubbed themselves his harem. But Ted Brown also sought out those who were newcomers to the community or who, like himself, were alone. He made a point to include others in groups or invite them for a dining room meal one-to-one. Dad recognized the unique character of his neighbors and enjoyed exploring ideas with these wonderful people. And I cannot leave this topic without expressing our family's gratitude to the community of Evergreen Woods, all the way on the east coast of this country. Perhaps some of you are with us remotely today or are viewing a recording later. And I know that you are with us in this room in spirit. You provided meals, housekeeping, health care, friendship, and so much love. Dad loved you in return and will always keep you in our hearts. In his last year, he wrote the little novelette, Memphis, inviting another Evergreen Woods friend, Bill Goldberg, to illustrate. Bill, himself a nonagenarian, was Dad's collaborator on a popular workshop series on AI at Evergreen Woods. The print copy of Memphis arrived the morning of Dad's last day with us. And as we opened the box, he registered a smile and a sparkle of joy. Mission accomplished. By that evening, Dad was non-responsive. But Karen, Jenny's husband Ian, and I sat around Dad's bed and read aloud from Memphis, enjoying the humor in Dad's writing and recalling, with some laughter, some of the family history that Dad alluded to in the book. Did he hear and understand what we were saying? We'll never know. But it makes us happy we could enjoy in his presence his final labor of love. We invite you to take a copy of Memphis with you today if you would like to. After Dad passed away, we hired an agency to help clean out Dad's apartment. As the director of this agency finished her meeting with me about a week after Dad died, she hesitated at his door and said to me, "I want to share something with you. I've spent a lot of time at Evergreen Woods over the years, and throughout the building this past week, I have heard so many people talking about your dad. I've never heard so much sorrow, shock, and loss for a resident who has died. He clearly made a unique impact. Your father must have been a very special man." He was. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Audrey Ann. I'm the eldest granddaughter. In January 2020, our beloved grandmother, Audrey Brown, passed away. And as you know, that was just before the world changed with the pandemic. And while a memorial service was held at her church in Florida in early February, which I attended with my mother and my aunts and my grandfather, our whole family never was able to gather in Champaign to celebrate her life like we're doing today for Grandpa. So as we planned today's memorial service for our grandfather, it felt only right to take a few moments to also honor the remarkable woman who shared so much of his life's journey. After my grandmother passed away, our family received many condolence cards from recipients of the scholarship fund that my grandparents established for undergraduate students at the University of Illinois. And as I was reading through those letters, one theme appeared over and over again: nearly every student wrote about the way Audrey connected with them. She took the time to get to know people, she listened, she asked thoughtful questions, and most of all, she made people feel seen. I experienced that gift, and I imagine many of you did too. My grandmother had the remarkable ability to make each person feel valued, heard, appreciated, and respected. Audrey Brown was certainly a woman of strong opinions. We all know when she disapproved of something, but beneath that was the extraordinary capacity for love, acceptance, and generosity. She delighted in each of her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and she loved us without conditions and without hesitation. The qualities that defined her, being fully present, listening deeply, showing genuine curiosity, and loving unconditionally, have become part of our family's legacy. They continue to shape the way we care for one another and the way we connect with people beyond our family. Of course, Grandma also believed that life should be enjoyed. She loved to laugh, she loved to gather people together, and absolutely loved games. She taught all of us countless card games, but perhaps none more important than 500. Along with the rules came plenty of life's lessons, including her strategy to go big, getting 2 partners so that you'd have company if you went down. Whether or not that was always the best strategy, it certainly made the game more memorable. She also made sure to cultivate a family of mahjong players. Thanks to her persistence, I think it's safe to say we can all hold our own at the table. More importantly, those games gave us something much greater than competition. They gave us time together, hours of conversation, laughter, friendly rivalries, and memories that we still treasure today. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention one of my grandmother's greatest talents, gathering people around a table. Audrey Brown loved a dinner party. She didn't just create a spread you wanted to eat, she created a table you wanted to be at. The conversations were lively, the laughter was plentiful, and there was always plenty of wine. But it wasn't just the food or the conversation that made people want to be there. She had a remarkable way of making everyone feel comfortable and welcomed. It didn't matter if you arrived at the beginning of the evening or halfway through the card game, there was always room for you. If all the chairs were taken, you simply pulled one up. If the game had already started, you sat nearby, joined the conversation, and waited for the next hand. No one was ever made to feel like they were interrupting or imposing. Everyone was invited and everyone belonged. Many of my first culinary adventures happened because of my grandmother. She was endlessly curious and creative, exploring different cultures and traditions through food. Over the years, there were cookbooks on Korean, Greek, Japanese, Mediterranean, just countless cuisines. She loved learning, experimenting, and sharing those discoveries with the people she loved. Our family cookbook is filled with her recipes. Favorites include her beef and broccoli, which, if you're making, double the sauce, her eggplant parmesan, but Grandma also understood that not every memorable meal had to be elaborate. She believed just as strongly in the simple perfection of a bowl of popcorn on a Sunday afternoon. Whether it was carefully planned dinner parties or popcorn shared with family, she knew that food was never just about the meal. She was about creating space for people to slow down, connect, and enjoy one another. When I think of my grandmother, I don't just remember what she did. I remember how she made people feel. She made us feel loved. She made us feel important. She made us feel like we belonged. And that is a rare gift. And it is one that continues to live on with all of us. As we remember both Grandma and Grandpa today, I'm grateful not only for the lives they've built together, but for the family and the values they passed on to each of us. Their legacy isn't found only in the scholarship they created or the traditions they started. It's found in the relationships they nurtured, the kindness they modeled, and the love they gave so freely. That is the legacy that will continue for generations to come.
You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. Sail away, you love the hours. You belong somewhere you feel free. Run away, find you a lover. Go away somewhere all bright and blue. I have seen no other who compares with you. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. You belong with your love on your arm. You belong somewhere you feel free. Run away, find you a lover. Run away, let your heart be your guide. You deserve the deepest of cover. You belong in that home by and by. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong somewhere close to me. You away from your troubles and worries. You belong somewhere you feel free. You belong somewhere you feel free.
Wow, thank you so much. Your music's been fabulous. Eagle Poem by Joy Harjo. To pray, you open your whole self to sky, to earth, to sun, to moon, to one whole voice that is you. And know there is more you can't see, can't hear, can't know, except in moments steadily growing and in languages that aren't always sound, but other circles of motion. Like Eagle, that Sunday morning over Salt River, circled in blue sky, in wind, swept our hearts clean with sacred wings. We see you, see ourselves, and know that we must take the utmost care and kindness in all things. Breathe in, knowing we are made of all this, and breathe, knowing we are truly blessed because we were born, and die soon within a true circle of motion. Like eagle, rounding out the morning inside of us. We pray that it will be done in beauty, in beauty.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from rolling ocean, standing on the desert can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor nor port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leading over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here in my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by lights of heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves uphold me, held the great winds urging me on, breathe the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
One more time, thanks for being here. It means a lot to us. Thanks for everyone who helped make this happen. We have one more song to close us out, and then we hope you'll all stick around for refreshments in the lobby and share some stories and memories. Thank you.
One, two, one. Let's try it again. One.